In 2015, a healthy 49-year-old man arrived at the hospital in acute kidney failure. A man eating a big bag of almonds. Over time, without certain gut bacteria that help break down oxalates, those almonds quietly loaded his system with crystal-forming compounds. Needle-like oxalate crystals accumulated, damaged delicate kidney tissue, and turned a well-intentioned routine into a medical emergency. I'm opening with this story not to scare you away from the food you enjoy, but to set the stage for a simple, empowering truth. When it comes to nuts and your kidneys, the difference between stress and support lies in choosing the right type in the right amount. This isn't a ban all nuts message. It's a make smart swaps plan you can use today. Before we dive into the details, let's place a helpful safety banner at the top of everything you'll hear. Your kidney health is personal. Your stage of chronic kidney disease, if any, your laboratory values, your medications for blood pressure or diabetes, your cardiovascular status, and your overall goals all matter. The tips you're about to get are evidence-based and senior-friendly, but they still work best when you personalize them with your clinician or renal dietitian. And one more foundational principle. With nuts, moderation always beats megadoses. Small, steady portions over time are far more protective than occasional heavy handfuls. With that frame in place, here's the big picture that guides all our choices. The heart and the kidneys are best friends. Most people with kidney disease don't pass away from kidney failure. They're more likely to face complications of cardiovascular disease. That's why the foods that lower inflammation, protect blood vessels, and reduce metabolic burden are such powerful allies. Nuts can absolutely fit into that plan if we're wise about which ones we choose, how much we eat, and how frequently we include them. To make this ultra simple, we'll use a clear, memorable structure. First, we'll meet 3 villain nuts you'll want to limit or avoid, along with easy one-to-one swaps. Then we'll spotlight 3 hero nuts that are friendlier for kidneys, complete with practical portions, storage tips, and everyday uses. After that, we'll connect everything with myth-busting, grocery, and dining out checklists, as well as a sample weekly rotation so that you can act immediately. Think of this as a calm, no-hype guide that moves you from confusion to clarity, one decision at a time. Let's start with the villains so you can sidestep the most common traps right away. The first villain isn't the worst offender on paper, but it tricked our opening storyteller, almonds. Almonds have earned an enormous health halo, heart-friendly in many contexts, packaged beautifully, and recommended routinely as a better snack. The trouble is their oxalate content, which is about 122 milligrams per ounce, an exceptionally high level. If you've ever been advised to keep your daily oxalate intake around 40 to 50 milligrams due to a risk of stones, you can see how quickly almond snacking overshoots the target. Oxalates bind with calcium to create those sharp, needle-like crystals that can contribute to kidney stones and, over time and in susceptible people, to oxalate nephropathy that damages kidney tissue directly. Almonds also bring a mineral profile that matters if your kidney function is already compromised. Around 200 milligrams of potassium, 137 milligrams of phosphorus, and 6 grams of protein per quarter cup. While that potassium may be borderline manageable for some, the phosphorus load, especially over the course of a whole day, becomes a concern. The traps are subtle. Almond butter on toast, grain-free baked goods made with almond flour, trail mixes where almonds dominate. Soaking almonds doesn't meaningfully fix oxalates, and neither does grinding them into butter or flour. If you love the taste and still want the benefits of vitamin E without the oxalate punch, reach for sunflower seeds or hazelnuts, and consider sunflower seed flour as a baking stand-in. When dining out, look out for almond-crusted entrees and those healthy salads topped with slivered almonds. Ask for a simple swap. Moving from the familiar to the fancy, the second villain is pine nuts. They look elegant, feel pricey, and often hitch a ride on the Mediterranean healthy label. However, per ounce, pine nuts contain roughly 190–200 milligrams of phosphorus, 170 milligrams of potassium, and approximately 4.6 grams of protein. For many people with CKD, Phosphorus control is critical because excess phosphorus can pull calcium from bones while promoting calcification of arteries and valves. A 1 to 2 punch, few bodies tolerate well over time. Pine nuts appear wherever pesto is found, and pesto is concentrated. A small spoonful can deliver a surprisingly large amount. They also hide in restaurant salads, pastas, deli chef mixes, and in some international dishes. Preparation doesn't fix the load. Raw, toasted, or ground into paste, pine nuts remain phosphorus-dense. Fortunately, the swaps are delicious. For pesto, blend basil with sunflower seeds or hazelnuts, along with olive oil, garlic, and a squeeze of lemon. For salad crunch, walnuts or pecans play beautifully without the same mineral burden. When dining out, a simple question: what nuts are in your pesto or topping can save you unnecessary stress on your liver. The third villain is cashews, and here's where irony meets reality. They're kidney-shaped, but they're not especially kidney-friendly. Per ounce, cashews carry roughly 47 milligrams of oxalates, not as astronomical as almonds, but still meaningful for stone-prone folks. About 150 milligrams of phosphorus, and about 180 milligrams of potassium. What pushes cashews into the problematic zone for many seniors is how easily they can be overeaten and how frequently they're processed into concentrated forms. Cashew cream, cashew-based vegan cheeses, cashew milks, these deliver the same or higher loads in a format that goes down fast. Manufacturers often add sodium and phosphate-containing emulsifiers or preservatives that compound the mineral burden. Read labels for phos anywhere in the ingredients. If it appears, take note of your kidneys. The good news: texture and creaminess have alternatives. For sauces and spreads, sunflower seed butter creates a similar mouthfeel with less mineral stress. Hemp hearts add plant-based richness. And a small amount of coconut cream can provide body in a way that's easier to portion and monitor, as long as you keep an eye on saturated fat. Now that you know which nuts can work against your kidney goals, let's pivot with a breath to the good news. Some nuts actually align beautifully with kidney protection when consumed in moderation. We'll begin with a quiet hero: English walnuts. Walnuts are the only tree nut with a significant amount of omega-3, ALA, a type of fat linked to improved cardiovascular health and lower levels of inflammatory markers, such as C-reactive protein. That matters because the heart-kidney connection is constant. What's suitable for your blood vessels supports filtration and function. Per ounce, English walnuts bring around 125 milligrams of potassium, 98 milligrams of phosphorus, and 4.3 grams of protein, a practical sweet spot for many seniors balancing satisfaction with lab-friendly intake. The key is portion and frequency, about 7 to 10 halves, roughly 1 ounce, 3 to 5 times per week. Choose unsalted nuts, skip the honey-roasted versions, and store them in an airtight container in the refrigerator, as omega-3 rich nuts can go rancid more quickly. If they smell like paint or taste bitter, discard them. Lightly toasting walnuts in a dry pan for a couple of minutes unlocks aroma without adding oil or salt. Sprinkle on oatmeal, fold into green beans with olive oil and lemon, or add to a salad for crunch you'll actually feel good about. Next up, macadamias, which are far gentler on kidneys than many people realize. Their numbers tell the story: approximately 104 milligrams of potassium and 53 milligrams of phosphorus per ounce, with a low protein content of around 2.2 grams per ounce. They're rich in monounsaturated fat, oleic acid, the same heart-friendly family found in olive oil. And that profile supports anti-inflammatory pathways that protect the small, delicate vessels inside the kidneys. Yes, macadamias are calorie-dense, about 200 calories per ounce, but those calories come with satiety and stability you often don't get from ultra-processed snacks. Many people find that 1 measured ounce in the afternoon keeps them comfortably full and reduces cravings later in the evening. The freshness rule applies here too. Macadamias should smell sweet and buttery, not bitter. If you have tree nut allergies, sunflower seeds can mimic the texture and offer an even lighter mineral profile in many recipes. Finally, a hero that deserves more attention in American kitchens: hazelnuts. An ounce provides roughly 20% of your daily vitamin E, including gamma tocopherol, which supports membrane integrity, especially relevant for stressed kidney cells facing oxidative pressure. Hazelnuts contain approximately 193 milligrams of potassium, 82 milligrams of phosphorus, and 4.2 grams of protein per ounce. In the right portion, about 12 nuts or 1 ounce, they deliver flavor, texture, and a nutrient profile that works for many seniors, especially when chewing tougher nuts is uncomfortable. Light roasting makes them even easier to eat. Toss chopped hazelnuts with green beans for a classic elegant side. Use them as a light crust for fish or chicken, or fold them into cereal or oatmeal in the morning. Skip sugary hazelnut spreads, they're dessert, not a kidney-smart nut serving, and stick with plain, unsalted hazelnuts. Store them in a cool, dry place or refrigerate for longer life, and you'll retain both taste and benefits. Now that we've explored villains and heroes, let's connect those insights to your kitchen with a few practical wins. Start with a simple portion cue. A small handful is roughly 1 ounce. If the nuts are spilling over your palm, you're likely holding 2 servings. Build a shopping list that loves your labs. English walnuts, macadamias, hazelnuts, plus a couple of versatile swaps, like sunflower seeds, sunflower seed butter, and hemp hearts. In the kitchen, convert classic recipes. For pesto, replace pine nuts with sunflower seeds or hazelnuts, and brighten with lemon. For salad crunch or vegetable toppers, use walnuts or pecans in place of pine nuts. For creamy sauces, blend a spoon or 2 of sunflower seed butter into broth, or a small amount of coconut cream, rather than reaching for cashew cream. For storage, refrigerate walnuts and macadamias in airtight containers. Freeze for long-term storage. Keep hazelnuts in a cool, dry pantry or the refrigerator. Trust your senses. Bitterness or a paint-like aroma means it's time to discard. Because confusion often hides behind common myths, let's take a quick reality check. No, not all nuts are bad for CKD patients. Type and portion truly matter, and walnuts, macadamias, and hazelnuts often fit within a kidney-friendly plan when you personalize with your clinician. No, soaking almonds doesn't meaningfully erase their oxalate problem, and almond butter or almond flour maintains the load. No, macadamias aren't too calorie-dense to be healthy. Calories in context and portioned wisely provide satiety and anti-inflammatory fats that are superior to empty processed snack calories. And yes, vitamin E from hazelnuts carries real value for cell membranes, including those in kidney tissue. It's not a magic cure, but it is a meaningful protective piece in a sensible pattern. Equipped with the truth, you'll want strategies for restaurants and prepared foods. Think of 3 questions you can keep in your pocket. First, does the pesto contain pine nuts? If so, ask for a nut-free version, or check if the kitchen can use sunflower seeds as an alternative. Second, are there almonds in the salad topping or in the crust on this entree? Request a swap to walnuts or pecans, or ask to omit the nuts. Third, what's in the vegan cheese or creamy sauce? If the answer is cashews, opt for an olive oil-based dressing, a lemon herb vinaigrette, or a small amount of a coconut cream-style dressing. At the grocery store, scan labels for phosphate additives, any word fragment with phos, and favor plain, unsalted nuts to avoid unintended sodium or sugar. These tiny choices stack up over months and years. They're the quiet habits that protect you. To bring rhythm and ease to your week, consider a simple 7-day nut rotation that you can screenshot and adapt with the help of your dietitian. On Monday, sprinkle an ounce of walnuts over oatmeal or a salad. On Tuesday, enjoy an ounce of macadamia nuts as your afternoon snack. On Wednesday, add an ounce of chopped hazelnuts to the green beans at dinner. On Thursday, bring back walnuts alongside a bowl of berries. Friday, choose macadamias instead of chips for movie night. Saturday, use hazelnuts as a cereal topper or make a small trail mix with sunflower seeds. And Sunday, rest from nuts or rotate sunflower seeds if your plan allows. That's 3 to 5 nut days per week, varied, moderate, and mindful without needing to count obsessively. At this point, you may feel that the whole picture is coming together. So let's knit the key takeaways into a smooth recap that you can carry with you. When you think villains, Remember almonds for their very high oxalates and their sneaky forms, butter, flour, slivers on healthy salads, pine nuts for their phosphorus load and pesto concentration, and cashews for a combination of oxalate, potassium, and phosphorus, plus the tendency to overeat them in creamy processed forms. When you think heroes, picture English walnuts for omega-3 ALA and a lab-friendly mineral profile, macadamias for gentle potassium and phosphorus levels and anti-inflammatory monounsaturated fats, and hazelnuts for vitamin E that supports cell membranes and a senior-friendly texture when roasted. Then, add a few effortless swaps to each category. Pine nuts to sunflower seeds or hazelnuts in pesto, almonds or pine nuts to walnuts or pecans for added crunch, cashew cream to sunflower seed butter, or a controlled amount of coconut cream for a rich body. Finally, anchor those choices in protective habits. Store nuts properly. Toast lightly without extra oil or sugar. Choose unsalted options. And measure a small handful instead of guessing. All along, our theme has been calm control. Fewer rules. More wisdom. Fewer extremes. More consistency. If your labs are complex or you're managing multiple conditions, bring this outline to your clinician or renal dietitian and tailor it to your specific numbers. That's not just a formality. It's the best way to turn generalized guidance into a personal, achievable plan you actually enjoy. And because knowledge sticks better when we talk it out together, I'd love to hear from you. Which nut surprised you the most today? What's the one sitting in your pantry right now? Please share it in the comments. In the first 24 hours after this video goes live, we'll read and personally respond to every comment. That's how we learn from each other and strengthen this community. If this guide helped you feel clearer and calmer about nuts and kidney health, consider tapping like and turning on the bell. That tells us to make more evidence-based, senior-friendly videos just like this, steady, practical, and respectful of your time and energy. And if you're unsure where your kidney health stands, if you've noticed new fatigue, swelling in the legs or around the eyes, changes in urination, or rising blood pressure, watch our companion episode on early kidney failure symptoms. The sooner you recognize signals, the sooner you and your care team can act. As we conclude, please take a moment to reflect on our opening story. One man's daily habit, chosen with the best of intentions, became a problem because the details were off. Your story can go the other way. Small, steady choices, choosing walnuts over almonds, swapping sunflower seeds into pesto, measuring a modest portion of macadamias, skipping cashew-based sauces at restaurants are the details that protect your kidneys over the years. None of these changes requires you to give up pleasure, tradition, or variety. They redirect your taste toward foods that love your kidneys back. Take a breath, open your pantry with fresh eyes, and choose one change to make at your next snack or meal. Maybe it's a handful of walnuts on your oatmeal tomorrow morning, or a sunflower seed pesto on your pasta tonight, or a crisp salad topped with pecans instead of pine nuts. Do that once, then again, and again, until it becomes the new normal. That is how you cleanse your kidney routine, gently, wisely, and sustainably. One small, smart swap at a time. I'm grateful you're here. Continue learning, ask questions, and choose foods that support your strength. I'll see you in the following video.